Hey guys, Empyrian here. Just wanted to make a quick overview for the Firestorm Witch I'm gonna be starting the next league on in Path of Exile. So this is just a very basic Firestorm casting character. I took inspiration from two different builds that I found when I looked up Firestorm builds online. I will put a link to both of those in the description below. Skill-wise, it's basically just Firestorm, a spell totem that spawns skeletons if there are enemies nearby, flame dash for movement, and a golem for physical damage reduction and additional tanking. And on my left click I have Orb of Storms linked with increased critical chance to proc my elemental overload. So take a look at the tree. We are starting here on spell damage. I'm not exactly sure what route I took, and I also backtracked a bit. So, but just basically starting from spell damage, and then these are your most useless nodes pretty much. You can take the minion route as well to go to the right side, but I went in the middle here, got some max mana and these HP nodes, and then went up to the area of effect and area damage, and then went up here and got more life. Going left here, getting elemental overload, so this is a no crit build. Your Firestorm has only the base 5% crit chance, but early on that's enough to proc the elemental overload. You won't have it up all the time, but that's when Orb of Storms come in. These little lightning strikes are proccing your elemental overload pretty much all the time. After that I went down here and took some mana regen, and I took these nodes to come down to the Templar starting area where I got more spell damage, more life, more area, more spell damage, more elemental damage, and more life. Following that, you can circle back up here and connect back to your original tree, and you can unspec these two nodes for better pathing. You can get more life here, more fire damage, and then come up here to get an additional curse. So we're using two curses in this build. One of them is Flammability, which is less fire resistance for monsters and increased chance to ignite, and Warlord's Mark. We're using them linked with Blasphemy support, meaning you won't have to manually cast these. As long as monsters are in your range, they will instantly get double cursed because of Whispers of Doom. Let's see. After that, you can come down here, get a jewel socket if you have some nice jewels. You can also get a jewel socket up here. I just took, spell damage, fire damage, cast speed, decent yellow jewel. And then after that you come down here for skill duration, mana regen, more life, and more skill duration. So this is where I stopped with this tree. But if you want to continue going to the higher levels, I suggest either taking these fire nodes, or I could unspec these 4 fire nodes right now and come down here and get more life. And once I'm done with getting these life nodes, I can get the last few levels and put fire damage here. So I guess that's all about the tree for now. We didn't take any minion nodes. There is 2 options. One is here and the other one is somewhere down here. Basically, yeah, Puppet Master. You can get more tanky minions if that's your thing, but this build doesn't really focus on minions. The skeletons are just there to take one hit, and I use a spell totem linked with the skeletons to spam it. So equipment-wise, we have a 5-link Pledge of Hands and a Combs Heart. These are the only 2 uniques that I'm using right now. The Combs Heart I only got recently. Before that I was using a 5-link chest. This one, pretty much any 5-link chest. And then I switched to the Pledge of Hands because it has Spellock on it, so it's basically a 6-link when you 5-link it. Yeah, other than that, just life and resist items. Nothing really special here. I prefer Mana Regen Amulet, but I mean, if you're using Rallying Cry, which I'm not really using unless it's low regen maps, you are pretty much good for mana. I can show you how much I can spam just without running into any issues. And then Warlord's Mark, obviously if some monsters are cursed with Warlord's Mark, you will mana leech back pretty fast. Skill-wise, I have my Firestorm linked with faster casting, controlled destruction, increased area of effect, and fire pen. And for the boss you switch in concentrated effect instead of increased area. I have my spell totem linked with the summon skeletons. I have the Orb of Storms linked with increased critical strike. And then here I have my curses, blasphemy linked with the femme ability and warlord's mark. And I have Wild Haste here as a, you know, quick damage burst cooldown sort of thing. I have Chaos Golem. You can switch this to Fire Golem for more damage. I use this for physical damage reduction. And I have my concentrated effect here just to swap it in. You could store this on your alternate weapon slots. I have the Flame Dash and the Rallying Cry here, also not requiring any links. And that's about it for skills. In terms of Ascendancy, I took Shaper of Desolation first, which is very nice damage buff. Second, I took Pendulum of Destruction. And third, I took Paragon of Calamity, which is very nice for survivability. It makes you basically very slowly able to do reflect maps, and very nice survivability against all elements. Flask-wise, I'm using two HP flasks, a speed flask, a chaos resist, and a basalt flask. I sometimes switch out the Atzuri flasks for a second speed flask if I'm just farming low tier maps and I want to finish them fast. Let's see what else. Map mods wise, the only real dangerous thing to you is elemental resist, which you really don't want to do. You can do it very slowly, like one firestorm at a time, chugging flasks, but it takes way too long and I would prefer to just roll it away or try another map. Blood magic is also pretty bad because you're using auras, you know, you're triggering your curses with auras. So it's basically like another hexproof. You could, of course, unlink your blasphemy and use your curses manually instead of using it with auras. But at that point, I just put two other useful auras, or don't use any, pretty much, for those maps. What else? That's pretty much it. It's a very simple build and I'm very new to the game. It's a good beginner build to start the league with. It requires no expensive items. Like I said, these uniques are not that expensive and you can do without them. Like before this stuff I was just dual wielding spell damage wands, and I had a 5-link chest which housed my Firestorm setup. Pretty much a 4-link Firestorm can carry you to early maps, and with 5-link you can easily clear up to tier 10. This character has done up to tier 15 maps, every tier at least twice without dying a single time. Yellow maps, of course, most of them corrupted. But like I said, I'd rather skip Ellie Reflect because it's not that fun, because you're very slow. And pretty much that's about it. I can just open like a random map to show you how it plays. Tier 12, Alchemy. Hexproof, so we're not going to use our hexes. Just go into a map and show you the gameplay a bit. I think the build is hardcore viable because of how safely you can clear off-screen.
But only for the chosen few.
Like, the area of Firestorm is pretty huge if you have increased area of effect. Like, if I want to cast here, then things outside the screen will also take damage. And you can apply this in doorways. For example, if there are monsters in there and you don't want to engage them, you can put a totem at the door that's going to spam skeletons inside, and you can cast here and kill things inside the room. So I guess you could play this on hardcore as well. Other than that, the gameplay is just put the totem, spam skeletons for tanking, and Firestorm, kill everything. Pretty much. For bosses, I suggest using concentrated effect instead of increased area. You just switch that in for bosses, like this is your boss setup, and then your Firestorm area will be much smaller, and much more concentrated, and much more blasts will hit the boss. As you can see, you can kind of stack it up pretty nicely. So this is the build I'm gonna be starting the next season with. It's a nice beginner-friendly starter build that you can use to farm early currency and then maybe build other characters once you accumulate enough to maybe build more expensive characters. So yeah, that's the build. I'll put useful links in the description, and thank you guys for watching. See you in the breach.